Hello everybody, welcome to ZeldaSpeedRuns, broadcasting the Link to the Past NMG League 2022. We got round 1 of the Light Roll division for you today. It's Yeroc versus Rei07. Commentating for us, we have Dale and Rob J. Beasley. Say hello everybody.
Hello.
How's everyone doing today?
I'm certainly doing all right. Looking forward to a good race here. With just 10 seconds between these two players' PBs, it should be a close one.
Yeah, I was just looking that up. Both of them have mid 126s. For me, I honestly thought 126 to 125 was the hardest. It took me so long to get that first 125. But yeah, like this is about, for me, where you start to see players, they start to have all the knowledge and they can mostly do everything 98% of the time, and just that 2% of the time it doesn't work out, you lose a minute. And it's really, really frustrating.
Yeah, for sure. Once you get to this level, excuse me, the players are going to be going for basically all of the strats. It's just about building consistency to get the times down from here to the real top end.
Yeah, and it does look like they're off. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about either of these runners. They both are relatively new. I was checking it. I think Yeroc is... Oh, shoot, I might have to check. One of them I saw was less than a year, and one of them's only been playing for about 18 months. I say only, but this game takes a very long time to get good at.
Yeah, for sure. It's impressive on both of them there to get those times in this short time. All right, so here we go with Escape, the most thrilling of all the splits.
It is a little bit funny because I was just talking in a different chat about how actually, you know, this split is pretty important. You don't want to just lose 5 seconds for whatever reason. And they're never going to lose 5 seconds anywhere in this split, but they are going to lose 10 frames everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very technical split early on. Lots of our basic movement tech. Got to pump everywhere to save those frames.
Yeah, and we did see on Ray's side had to poke the guard, which is good recognition. Rob had worse guard RNG and had to walk around a little bit, so neither gets what you wanted, but both handled it just fine.
You're going for the left slash there and getting it nicely.
That does save, on average, 10 to 15 frames, so it is pretty good. It is definitely the much harder of the two strats, though. I love that RNG because it's the fastest. And then the spin and the poke on that guard, nicely done by both.
Yeah, those key guard rooms are kind of the first, what I would call proper speedrun strats in the run. You know, you wouldn't do those sort of movements as a casual player, but you know, knowing how to kill them quickly is nice.
Absolutely. This room takes a lot of practice. Ray opting kill the guard, that's fine with that RNG, and then they're both going to go for 8 slash here. Ray gets a... Ooh. Okay. That's, yeah, we're alive. That's all we want.
Yeah, no one wants to see a death in Escape. Ball and chain sometimes gets you, but, you know, usually you just deploy the reset button at that point, but couldn't do that today.
Yeah, it's not a good death. There are no good deaths in this, but Ball and chain's not... No, actually, never mind. It's like a 2-minute death. It's pretty bad. I forgot. It's been a while since I've had to see one, but...
I'm not even sure where the game puts you back exactly. Is it at the entrance to the castle, or is it at Uncle?
I think it's the castle entrance. Because it does qualify as a dungeon. But yeah, we won't see... Oh. Yeroc moves over just a little bit too early and does get poked. That guard does have different RNGs, so you can't move over at a consistent time. Ooh, just a bad boom. And you saw Rei do a little bit of a wiggle there, was trying to pump. Sometimes when you pump too hard, you don't get the input you want. This is the best I can do. I don't roleplay my speaking. Okay, and Rei does get that heart. That heart's pretty fast. I think it's only like 20 frames or so.
Yeah, it makes sense in a race. You know, just dying anywhere, pretty bad. So make sure you stay alive.
And dying in escape of all places is incredibly tilting. So.
Yeah, it's very easy in this game if you make a mistake early on for things to just sort of compound. You kind of lose your composure a little bit and keep messing up more.
Ooh, Yeroc got the fast RNG and didn't quite react in time, so didn't get the good slash. Rei gets an okay RNG, which is a little bit time difference, but very unfriendly rats there.
So Yeroc is the first out of escape there with a pretty nice time. Rei not far behind.
Yeah, a low 550, 552. That's pretty good. And Rei with a 556, which is fine. I say it's fine. Anything sub 6, you're totally happy with it. Especially, you know, with ball and chain like that, where it got a little weird. And now we just get to make about a minute and a half walk to, well, I guess it's about a minute walk to Eastern. The movement here is actually kind of fairly precise, but not that interesting. Just don't get hit, basically.
Yeah, that's the main thing here. Just like pay attention to the RNG from the enemies, try and avoid them as best you can.
Ooh, Rei, yeah, that's a hard one to get around. I think you have to slash that octo when it gives you that pattern, or else you get hit like that. Because they did get Sank Heart, it's not that big of a deal. They do hurt a little bit, and we are going to take some intentional damage here in Eastern, but we'll have a couple of hearts that we can grab if we really feel not great about it. Yeah, Rei has a 126-21. And yeah, we see there dodging the cannonballs as RNG. We're going to see a lot of enemy and like just random RNG throughout the run. Rei not opting for the heart there, which is totally unnecessary. Or the heart is unnecessary, rather. We're only going to intentionally take a heart of damage. We certainly don't hope to take more than that.
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see him not grab the heart there. It's pretty quick, that one.
I believe it's only about 4 frames, which is a 15th of a second, which is basically inconsequential.
Yeah, I mean, when Rei wins this race by 3 frames later, we can put it that hard.
Exactly. And then we do see there Rei opting to slash. That is actually 4 frames slower, but it does give him a rupee drop, which is not guaranteed. There's only 50% chance. We do care about money up to a point. We want about 15 rupees, but as low as 6 is okay. Leaving Eastern here. Ooh. Okay. Yeroc gets the bad. I forget what exactly causes it. It's a frame roll for sure. But gets hit by the anti-fairies without stepping on the switch, which costs an extra heart, which just evens up the health situation.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, at this point, either of them can take a hit from any of the enemies in the back of Eastern. Nothing does more than a heart. But once you take one hit, then it becomes scary.
Yeah, the kind of nightmare scenario is you get hit by a cannonball that you can't react to, and then accidentally walk into a red eye gourd, right? So the red eye gourd part is totally under your control, but sometimes you just press the buttons a tiny bit wrong, and you get hit for it. Oh, Rei did a good job reacting.
Ooh, that's a problem. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, that one. That's one of those things. You're trying to go fast, so you shoot the arrow early, like because you're trying to go quickly, right? And it is just probably 2 frames too early. This is okay. Well, all right. I was concerned we were going to run out of arrows on Yeroc's side.
Yeah, messed up the quick kill there. Down to 1 arrow is a little bit of an uncomfortable spot to be in.
There are backup arrows. With 1, I would definitely get the backup arrows in Desert Palace. That would give you 26 for land molas, which it's pretty easy to use like 20 arrows in that fight. So you really don't want to run out.
Yeah, for sure. 26 is already a little bit on the low side for what you'd like going in there, but much better than the 21, which is the alternative.
Right. And so Rei gets slightly different. Oh, okay. All right. That room is notorious, but we're through it. And yeah, we did just see Yeroc. Wait.
I think the syncing of the 2 runners has given us a revisit to Zelda Gamer Room there.
Okay. I was like going crazy. Oh, just a little bit early. I cannot stress enough how difficult it is to play this game under ideal situations, and racing is not an ideal situation.
Alright, so at least Rei is now finally out of Eastern Palace, only in a slightly better arrow situation than Yeroc, with the 2 remaining.
And we have seen Yeroc do some spin speeds. At the trick that allows Link to maintain dashing speed without needing to dash, basically. It does mean you cannot use the sword. So it does put us in some dangerous situations sometimes. But it is extremely fast. So we try to use it whenever we can.
Yeah, the spin speed immediately after the boots here is one of the best in the game as well. Saves a lot of time compared to the, what is it, like 4 or 5 dashes you have to do otherwise.
Yeah, you say it saves a lot of time, which is true. It saves about 2 to 3 seconds. So, just for perspective.
Yeah, I mean, compared to some of the other spin speeds that we might see that save a few frames.
Well, we did already see the library screen ones, which each save less than a second. So yeah, a 2 to 3 second like strat difference is in fact pretty huge in this game. Most strat differences are on the order of 10 to 30 frames. So okay, and we did see Rei actually miss the spin speed twice there, but was able to recover. I got nervous when that guard didn't aggro, but didn't get hit, so that's good. And Yeroc reads the Cannonball RNG correctly. Nicely done.
Yep, Yeroc's Desert's been pretty uneventful so far. Nothing seriously going wrong.
Uneventful is, yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly what you want to see in this situation, especially with a bit of a lead already.
And yes, Yeroc didn't need those rupees, but they're probably faster than anything else you could have done, unless you've practiced some meme strats or hope to get lucky, I guess. But
yeah, the pot in the circle of pots there, slightly faster than the 4th blue rupee at trees.
ooh, and that's just the kind of thing on Ray's side. I don't know. A lot of times when you do something, you just slam the reset button. It's like a mental reset too, and you just kind of like lose focus a little bit on certain things. Just didn't quite get the dash they wanted on the first desert screen there, and then it ends up costing them a little bit extra time. But now, one of the most frustrating things is that rupee drop will not be there for Rei on the way back out. So you'd love to get that rupee, but it's in a different super tile, so it despawns when you leave the super tile.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Getting to skip a few rupees later is a nice bonus, but yeah, he's got enough.
And here we're coming up on the Lamb Molas fight. Did see people talking about it in chat, but you want to see as much as you can in the first cycle there, because it is the cycle we know the most about, and everything else is reacting to it. And so, yeah, we can see why we need the arrows. It's pretty easy to miss a few because you don't exactly know what's going to happen. Also, okay, maybe miscounted, or maybe opting not to use many arrows here. Maybe just miscounted a little bit. It is hard to keep track of 3 separate landmos when you're fighting them, so... yeah, it's a good thing that Yeroc got the arrows. We still don't have enough.
Yeah, this is a really low arrow count right now. I'm probably going to have to grab another backup pot later to do all the strats in Aghanim's Tower.
Yeah, and the arrow strats in Aghanim's Tower save a lot of time. If you have beams, they only end up saving like 3 seconds, I think. But the basic default state of Agha Tower is getting hit due to something really stupid that's not under your control. So...
looks like Rei's rolling in there with the 22 arrows.
I like the confidence.
Yeah, I mean, this could just be a play, because knowing you're behind, try and, you've got to sort of assume you're having a good fight here to catch up anyway.
Right. And it was a pretty good first cycle. Ooh. Okay, missed a couple arrows there, but got a little bit lucky. These are spawning at the same time. This is not good. I think this last one has maybe 2, but 1. Yeah, 1 shot. Okay, that was a pretty good fight, honestly.
Definitely saved some time back there.
Oh, I don't want to count. Is 6 arrows enough for Agate Tower? I think it's not.
I think it's 1 short. I think 7 is when you can skip the part, I think. Could also get the arrow drop from the miscellaneous prize pack somewhere in Hera, potentially.
That's true. You need to use 6 at minimum, and if you are doing... It depends on what enemies you kill. With tree rupees, you may need 7 at minimum. And you do want to leave actually with 1. So we actually are going to be a little bit short on arrows here. And then Yeroc gets through Death Mountain just fine, only taking 1 hit. That's all right. That's good.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it goes very badly wrong. The dead rocks and the boulders can just, all be in your way.
I think every runner has died on the ladder, just trying to get past the mountain. Like, well, we're gonna see boom strats. That boom strat in the lobby doesn't actually save any time because the menu is extra. It only is helpful if we go for the boom dash here, which we are doing. This is an impossible input, by the way. It's 3 buttons on the same frame, and it's spread over 2 hands. So,
all right. Well, he got it at least. Doesn't get the coffee break, but does get the time save.
Also, did manage to get it without accidentally booming the switch once, which means you have to boom it twice, which loses almost a full second. That boulder on Ray's side hit him right as he came off the ladder, so he had to reset the spin speed, which is activated by basically leaving stairs or ladders, which the game considers to be the same thing. So, I didn't see what drop Yeroc was on, but it looked like Yeroc thought he might have been on the arrows, and so handled everyone in such a way that he could get the arrow drop.
Yeah, unfortunately, in the end, nothing dropped at all in there, so we still can't know for sure exactly where we are on the price map.
Ray also going for the boomerang strats. Wow. Okay, so messing up a little bit in that room made it so that the right Kadongo was spitting fire, which cost him some time. That's just how this game works. You mess up something a little bit, and then something totally unrelated costs you another 2 seconds.
Okay, the green rupee there from the miscellaneous prize pack from Yeroc, so I think we're a little way away from the arrow still. If that's the first green rupee, then I think it's still a heart before the arrow.
Oh, Ray gets it, but stops the dash a little bit short, so gonna lose a little bit of time there. And then just opting for an easier strat, so you don't mess anything up too much.
Yeah, you get to boom that switch at least still.
All right, and Yeroc gets through Hera with no major incidents. I think most people would be fine with that if nothing goes terribly wrong in one of the worst splits in probably any game, not just this game.
All right, Yeroc got the despawned dead rock for the easy spin speed on the way out of Hera.
And here's where we're gonna be worried about our rupees and arrows a little bit more. There is an arrow pot here, which we are going to get, but we want to be at least 24 rupees after grabbing this. This is an early bomb jump on Rei's side. No. Ooh. That's rough. I think Rei did basically everything right, but missed or was late on a dash input, and so didn't get the. Oh, did you need that bomb? So didn't get the. If Link is dashing at the edge of a pit, Link will not fall into the pit, so you can kind of use that to buffer standing on the edge of the pit. Yeah, just barely missed it there, which made Link fall. And then, of course, because this game, we're running on Japanese 1.0, you take an extra hit from the bomb after you're in the pit. Okay, gets a second try. Had the right pixel that time, didn't need to do any buffers or anything, so...
Yeah, and Rei did at least manage to farm an arrow drop from one of the beetles on the second trip up arrow there, so can skip the pot in the descent.
And so yes, Yeroc has now killed 4 enemies, going to pull this tree and get 80 rupees, which is basically every rupee we're going to need for this. Okay, alright.
Panic over.
Moldorm goes fast on the last hit, and when you practice, you kind of know what to expect, at least like right away. And so a lot of times you can set up a dash through the boss or whatever else to kill the boss quickly at that point. But if you miss that first poke or dash through or whatever else, it can get pretty crazy. And Agate Tower is a pretty fun split, honestly. Other than a couple of rooms where the games just sometimes beat you up for no particular reason. But that's nicely done in that first room there. And we're going to do our best to... okay. Dash through those guards to kill them so they don't drop anything. Which we have done there. That is going to set us up for Turtle Rock later in the run, we hope.
Yeah, certainly should do.
And that's what I mean. That guard on Yeroc's side, just whatever. It just hits you. Because why not? At least did get a hard drop to make up for it, but... it's so irritating.
Yeah, sometimes the guards in the Dark Maze there just aggro for reasons you're not entirely sure of, and... yeah.
Oh, that strat is very dangerous that Yeroc just did. Did get hit going for it. Normally also people use that strat when they need rupees, which we don't here. Unfortunately, I don't know if that's the normal strat he chooses to go for or not. Okay.
Slight mistake in red alert there as well, having to back up and kill the first one again.
Ooh, that's things happen in Agate Tower sometimes. I don't know, like guards just don't cooperate. The RNG is a tiny bit different than what you're used to seeing. Like,
yeah, there's a lot of really tough rooms actually in the tower.
Yeah, so you're...
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, we're just getting, for the worst part of the game, it's just a cutscene where you have to actually play. And it's random length cutscene. Anywhere from a minute and a half to... what is it? Almost 4 minutes? Although, we really don't want to see 15 blue balls.
Yeah, I've not timed the 15. I don't know exactly how much it loses.
The most I've witnessed is 13 in 4-ish years. So 15 is a very, very, very uncommon occurrence.
Well, but
Oh,
they could
Ray
be
gets
today.
an awkward RNG. Oh no.
Okay.
Doesn't get a drop though. That's good.
Yeah, Yeroc looks like got 2 out of 3 blue balls in the first cycle there.
And this time, the top guard aggro's on Ray's side. This room is just the worst. And yes, Ray unfortunately had a couple of incidents which cost him about a minute and a half, and then a minute or so. I guess about 50 seconds for the second one.
Yeah, it looks like Aghanim wants to have a close race here. 5 blue balls already.
It's hard. Like, you know this fight is completely RNG and it's out of your control, but like when it's happening, it's so irritating.
Yeah.
Yeroc actually blocked those. Oh, okay. The damage tables on these guards are kind of weird. So even though it's 2 spins, it's only 3 slashes. I say kind of weird. Not that weird, but it's just more to keep track of. Oh, that worked. Okay, I thought the top red guard might have been too far left, but.
Yeah, it's like 7 blue balls, final count for Yeroc there. We'll see Ray entering the fight in just a few seconds.
Yeah, so certainly an opportunity to make up some time. The gap is fairly large. At this point, it's tough to make 90 seconds worth of just like small mistakes, right?
Yeah, with how close these 2 runners' PBs are, you're not expecting Yeroc to make like a cumulative 90 seconds worth of mistakes, but you know, so you kind of, well, on Ray's side, hoping for some sort of large mishap.
Well, we're not hoping for that, but
well, yeah,
yes,
if you're on Team Ray today.
Yeah, exactly. But yes, there are many mistakes that we can make that are 10, 20 seconds each. Those do add up, and they're honestly some of the hardest tricks in the game. And then, of course, there are some mistakes such as dying, which are 2+ minutes, especially some of the later bosses. So. Yeroc is an excellent Kiki dash, which is it's so much work to save like 5 frames. All right, so I think that's about 3 on Ray's side, which means he's gonna save about 30 seconds in this fight over Yeroc. So.
Yeah, it's obviously, you know, still a big gap at the moment, but it certainly makes Ray's task a little easier.
And we haven't talked about Pod, but Pod, the dungeon that Yeroc is currently in, we're going to see all of it a couple of times here. I have definitely gone the wrong way in this dungeon before.
Oh yeah, it's so easy to do because you mirror back to the beginning so many times. Like Pod is a dungeon made up of like a bunch of different objectives you need to go to from the start, and then mirror back to the beginning, and yeah, forgetting which loop you're on can certainly happen.
I guess Yeroc knew what drop they were on better than we did. Did get the arrows there, so.
Yeah, possibly got the heart from the jelly before. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, got his way to the arrow drop. There's a magic from another jelly, so it's a bomb next if you're looking for that too.
And we saw both runners bonk at the same time there. Yeroc's only cost him about 70 frame. Ray's cost him about 70 frames and 3 hearts. Some bonks are worse than others. Setting up for a hammer jump here, which requires... That looks good, and yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, 1 extra pause buffer is all there, so yeah, really nice hammer jump.
And now we get to remember where Ray is on the loop as well.
Yep,
Definitely
no
easy to keep track when they're together. Sorry.
Yeah, no sooner is Yeroc done with the pod loop that you have Ray's just starting it.
That was an excellently pushed statue. Now, what's tricky on Ray's side is he'll be short a heart. We did not see the drop, so the mini Helma that will kill on the bridge could drop the heart. Which is what we really do want to see, actually. Normally you want to see it there anyway, just to kind of advance your prize pack and make it more likely that you get what you're looking for in Turtle Rock. But here we do want to see it because it's going to save us like 5 seconds. So...
Yeah, not having beams for the back of pod can be really unfortunate. There's a couple of switches that it's much more convenient to be beaming.
And Yeroc handles turtles nicely there. Oh, Ray walks up to the chest, but then goes for that quick hop. That quick hop is really hard. Oh. That's...
Uh-oh. Yeah.
Oh, that's really bad.
Yeah, he's moved up without placing the bomb first there, unfortunately. I think he was on the right pixel.
It's just... You're trying to do the trick fast, and there's so many things that can go wrong. Yeroc doesn't have the fastest Helma Sorking fight, but... Once again, getting through without incident is, you know, kind of the name of the game in races a lot of the time. And yeah, so now we're going to see on Ray's side, I suppose the mimics could drop a heart.
Yeah, I certainly didn't pay attention to what dropped in Eastern.
The next drop should be 10-5 heart, I think, on Ray's side, which means we would need to drop from every single mimic, which we did not get.
Oh, missed out on the 10 arrows as well.
But just because of that, we're going to see a couple of extra menus on Ray's side, which does add a little bit of time. And because Helma King does 2 hearts of damage, being on 7 is way better than being on 6. So...
Yeah, one of the biggest benefits of getting Sanctuary Heart in the run is to have an extra hit to give here on Helmasaur, which Ray unfortunately will not be having.
Yeah, does not want to use the bomb there. Menu past the boomerang on accident, had to menu back to the boomerang. The menu is very tough to navigate quickly, especially menus that require more than one move. Oh, okay, that's been worked out. That turtle is going to flip, yeah. Okay, so the good news is that heart doesn't matter. Literally everything the Helmasaur King can do does 2 hearts of damage, so 6 versus 5 is exactly the same. And then, yeah, Ray activating spin speed. We did see Yeroc go for it and then kind of have to redo it. This extends the hammer hitbox away from Link, which makes it much easier to hammer, which does more than our sword, especially in phase 2. that was a pretty good fight.
Yeah, slightly more cooperative patterns from Helmer there.
And then I'm not sure what shopping Yeroc does, but that is potentially the last spin speed of the run. There are a few others that we could go for, and it does depend on where we're going to choose to pick up the Ether Medallion. But spin speed fans, I guess you can go home now.
Yeah, actually, I checked out Yeroc's PB for shopping, and has a slightly interesting setup of Ether in Swamp and Ice Rod in Maya.
That is an interesting one. So we will see spin speed to get Ether Medallion. The reason why that's interesting is because normally you do your shopping out of Mire so that you can have full health for the second screen in the dungeon. And so choosing to get the Ice Rod in that split just gives you the potential to lose health. But maybe it's just something they're comfortable with, don't want to move menus or whatever else, right? So.
Yeah, and over on Ray's side, it's the more standard Ether Swamp, Ice Rod, Turtle Rock.
Yeah, and then Thieves Town, I always kind of think of it as the last split where you don't have to pay that much attention. I find it is one of the most consistent splits. Really only a handful of RNGs we're on the lookout for, and that's mostly in the Hellway.
Yeah, certainly plenty of Thieves Town you can just autopilot, and it doesn't usually go wrong.
With that said, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was going to say the enemies in Thieves Town do hit pretty hard. So if it does go wrong, you can take a lot of damage quickly. But most of the time, you shouldn't be getting hit.
Yes, this is the intended fourth Dark World dungeon, and we're doing it second. That's a pretty unfortunate pattern on your side. Something you could have done is when the core is separated from the body part, could have hammered it, which will one hit KO it, or intentionally take a hit and then just walk through it while you're still in iframes. But Hellway gives you RNGs you've never seen before all the time, and so sometimes reacting to stuff like that is just really hard to do, especially if it's the first or maybe even the second or third time that you've seen it. Ooh, Ray gets a slight mistake on that screen, and then it all kind of falls apart. But only taking the one hit, we're fine.
Yeah, at least had a backup in his mind there, the menu to hammer to clear the other guy out of the way and then move up slightly for the dash to not get poked by more guards.
Okay, so Yeroc's bomb count was actually good. Did not need to pick up that bomb drop, but it's a spare for Ice Battle's bomb jump, which is definitely on my mind whenever I'm racing.
Yeah, for sure. Like Ice Palace bomb jump or like missing Spooky, it's just nice to have a backup bomb.
Ooh, Ray bonks. Some of these screens are a little bit tricky to tell exactly what's happening because the edge of the screen is blocked by the overhangs and stuff. Okay, up to 5 hearts for the blind fight here. We should be good with 1. But like I said, racing this game is so very different from just playing it. And a lot of things in this fight do 2 hearts of damage, so being on an odd number It's definitely an improvement over an even number of hearts.
Yeah, nicely executed blind script in the end, though. Nothing to worry about.
And we get a much friendlier helmet on Rei's side.
Yeah, still couldn't quite get the dash straight through the middle with the RNG provided, but was at least able to get through much faster.
It was a pretty nicely done attic. We definitely try to do things like have the bomb explode on literally the frame before you're leaving the room. But sometimes it's playing it a little bit too tight, so a lot of strats we do just, keep it a little bit safer. That was a nice slash through the enemy on Rei's side. Not something we get to see too often. Stealing the tech from Zelda 1. And now Yeroc here is going to be getting Tempered Sword, which is honestly an incredible item. Well, I guess that's what we needed the extra bomb for. But Tempered Sword makes basically every boss fight go from obnoxiously difficult to pretty okay. At least to the point where we have strats and can quickly defeat all of the bosses.
Yeah, and it certainly enables some much faster kills than would be possible otherwise. Just don't try and use spin attacks on Mothula.
Right, also setting up for a blind fight here. Oh, gets a slightly bad angle with the sword slash, but gets out of it before blind moves to the bottom of the screen, which is when you really start to panic.
Right, Yeroc with the obligatory fence dash attempt, unfortunately gets the bonk.
Also has picked up 600 rupees in this split. Yeah, we're rich.
Yeah, we get to be rich for like one split, and then we have to give all the money to a fish.
What could they possibly even use that money on? Like, the only thing you buy with rupees in Hyrule is like bombs and potions, right?
Yeah, maybe King Zora wants some potions. Gonna do some YBAs.
Ray throws that bomb just a little bit early, but should still be good on bombs. Yeah, they have the same amount of bombs. Ooh, falls off the ledge there. This is a hover attempt. I don't know if that saves any time. But we get it first try, which is gaming.
Yeah, I guess it's probably still faster to walk into the pit after the hover than like you're still on the mirror, so you could just mirror out from there. I'm not entirely sure what's faster.
No, it's faster to walk out, to like fall in the pit and walk out. The mirror transition is a little bit slow, and importantly, the Ropa on the next screen will mess you up. So
yeah, that's fair. Yeah, before I learned that that strat, I definitely didn't realize that your iframes would persist leaving a dungeon.
I know that's not very intuitive, right? But yeah, they just go for like, gets a bad angle on that fire rod. Recovers nicely, though. I say a bad angle. You're trying to do things very quickly, and so sometimes you're switching from like left to right or whatever else in a very short time frame, and you just get a slightly wrong input.
Yeroc accidentally killed the mini Helmasaur there, and I presume briefly panicked because it could have dropped from the fairy pack.
But we did not see a fairy, so we're in good shape. Ooh, Mothbite, that was nice. Got the early double poke. Falling patterns are a little bit tricky, but gets through it just fine. Skullwoods, I think, is... Oh, it's really fast. It's a pretty short split. The dungeon itself is actually really short. Like 40% of this split is just getting to the dungeon, honestly.
Yeah, like grabbing all of the rupees and the tempered sword just takes quite a bit of time compared to how long it actually takes to beat the dungeon.
And another 25% of it is the talking.
Yeah, absolutely. Similar is kind of true of Ice Palace coming up here as well. We do quite a lot of overworld stuff first, and then because of how much we sequence break the dungeon, that one doesn't take long either.
Those were not very friendly mini Moldorms on Ray's side. I can't do math. I think Ray's on... Okay, on 6. Once again, basically everything Moth does 2. But the spikes do only do 1, so it's not quite as important to be on an odd number here. Although, the mummies do 2 hearts. And I feel like I take more damage from the mummies than Moth a lot of the time.
Yeah, the mummy statue room at the beginning of the dungeon is a pretty notorious one. It can really mess you up if it starts going wrong.
And even just this upcoming room, where we light the torches, especially this strat, there's a lot of opportunity to mess up slightly and then get hit 2 or 3 times because of it. But we're through, very nicely done.
Yeah, we just saw Quick Fish over on Yeroc's side as well. You get to cheat the hitbox of that circle of rocks there to get a faster Quake Medallion.
Ooh. Ray, if you just do the room, you just walk straight into the pit, you'll avoid the spikes, but got hung up on the edge just a little bit. That was a fantastic Moth.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't get much better than that.
And Yeroc has done a good job of preserving his health. We want beams, yes, for the second room of Ice Palace, but mostly for the conveyor room, which is about 10 rooms deep or so. The beams do end up saving a fair bit of time. Whoa, getting some funny dashes there. And yes, opts to just kill that Zora, which might have been in the way.
Yeah, you get like one fire rod shot of leeway in this dungeon that you can use at your convenience before you haven't got enough magic for the boss. So yeah, Yeroc has used his up there.
Yeah, and that fire rod shot is necessary, so that is not the spare one. But yeah, here needs to not... Well, Ray gets hit. It does get a heart back. You can avoid getting hit on that screen by dashing further to the right, but it is... Oh, that's unfortunate. Ray must have turned away from that spear literally the frame it hit him, because I thought for sure he was going to block it.
Yeah, so probably not going to have the full health for the second room in ice. I guess you could get a heart from the crabs potentially, but there is a heart you'll grab in the dungeon before the conveyor room, so being down 1 heart is fine.
Right, and it's mostly a matter of being full health before the conveyor. But yes, it is nice to be full health before then. We'll see Yeroc pick up that heart, even though he's at full health right there. We can see Rei picked up that bush. That was not on accident. That was because that bush has a shot at dropping a heart. And then the crabs can drop a heart, and the rock that will be on the next screen can also drop a heart. So we have plenty of chances to get this 1 heart back. But they are just a chance.
Nice quick ice palace bomb jump from Yeroc there.
Surprisingly, a hovering ice palace bomb jump is not faster. Not really. Because you're still almost always waiting on the fire bar. So you have to be able to hover, not just consistently do it, but consistently beating the fire bar to make it worth it. Which is, I've not seen anybody do that. So you'd have to be really, really good at hovering.
Yeah, it requires a really good hover, and also just your movement in the rest of the room has to be really good as well.
Yeah, here we're going to see Cold Stare. This will use up our entire magic bar, which is why we did not have any spare. We only had the 1 spare shot, I guess. But with Tempered Sword, we're hoping this fight goes very quickly. 8 fire red shots to break the shell, a spin, and then 1 or 2 poke dashes, and then... Alright, we're getting double poke. We did miss a double poke, so these will...
Oh! Well, we've got a race now.
Alright, so Yeroc is probably going to go do Swamp. Because he needs magic.
Yeah, that's the most common backup here. Could try and farm these pickles for magic drops, but the easiest way is to go and beat Swamp Palace. So
because of that, the way Yeroc does it is gets Ether in Swamps. We're going to go ahead and get Ether here. But our health situation on Death Mountain... Alright, we didn't take any damage yet. Unfortunately, there's still a chance. And then Swamp's not a dungeon you normally think about your health in. But when you get into it low, you can kind of get cheated out of enough hearts that you end up dying. Which is like... It's just awful.
Yeah, Swamp Palace, the intended second dungeon in the Dark World, so the enemies in there don't hit too hard, but it's easy to get hit by a lot of them.
Rei had an extremely fast Bomb Floor room. You can really push the RNG in that, or the pace in that room, which looks like what they chose to do. Does need to hit the switch. Okay.
I think Rei is used to menuing. I think Rei is used to menuing with a backup bomb there.
Yeah, I think so. Okay, and that's the kind of thing that like is really hard about this game. I'm sure Yeroc has done that menu literally a million times, and just something bad happens and you get a little bit flustered and now you can't menu anymore, right? Like something that takes 1 second takes 5. This also means Yeroc is going to need a couple of extra bombs. I don't know my bomb math. We need 2 for Ice Palace. And we need 1 for Ice Rod. So Yeroc actually needs, well, kind of needs 3 bombs. Uh-oh. Rei misses the pokes, which are kind of precise.
Yeah, just to stay away from these puffs. Okay.
I think it's 1 more slash. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah, the cold stare puffs take no prisoners. 4 hearts each for for contact with those guys.
It can be smart to intentionally take a hit from the ice, depending on what's going on in that fight. Because the ice only does 2 hearts. Only.
Yeah, I mean, if it saves you from taking a bigger hit, then it's good. But yeah, it's quite hard to like actually react and figure out to do that in the moment. But it's a nice strat when it works.
Really, the very challenging part about Cold Stare is that if Cold Stare doesn't die to the quick kill and you're practicing, most of the time when you're practicing, you just like, let me do it again. Because you should get the quick kill basically every time. And the hard part about Cold Stare is that because you're not used to that, you're not used to tracking the 3 separate puffs and their health. It's like another land mobilist fight, except one where you can die. So I imagine what we're likely to see is on Yeroc's side, after finishing Swamp, go back to Ice. But yes, hopefully Yeroc remembers that we do need a few more bombs. Although I think the Stalfos will drop 4 bombs. So maybe Yeroc is just planning on getting the 4-bomb drop from the Stalfos.
Yeah, you can do that for sure. Yeah, I was slightly surprised not to see Yeroc pick up the bomb in the second room of Swamp, in the pod above the key. But might have a different route in mind.
It's also something that you die to Cold Stare and you just slam the reset button, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not used to like rerouting your bombs or arrows or anything like that on the fly. And this is
You see things that you only ever see in races because you don't usually carry on the run when things go that badly wrong.
Yeah, and here's where Swamp gets tough. Is if you come into this dungeon and you're at 11 hearts like Rei is, and you take 4 hearts of damage, who cares? You're on 7 hearts. But Yeroc was on 6 walking into the dungeon. Now you're on 2.5. And the boss Argus does 2.5. Or sorry, 2 hearts. And the room before Argus you get hit like all the time in. I would I would get both these hearts. Okay. We are getting both of them. It's possible we've forgotten that we need extra bombs. Because I would have 100% gotten that bomb too.
Yeah, but this guy here, didn't actually get in the way of the stairs that time. But sometimes you can't avoid getting hit by that thing either.
But here we will see the Argus fight, which is pretty fun, pretty technical fight. We are attempting the 0 cycle. We have a good start, and that is... I think we got the empty cycle. Yeah, we did.
Yeah, really close.
No magic, which is another thing that you're not used to seeing in this fight.
Yep, I definitely thought about that early in the dungeon and then completely forgot when I saw him going for it here.
I forgot too. And yes, we can get bombs in Mire. We just need to remember. Theoretically, you can walk into Ice Palace with no bombs. It is extremely slow. Every bomb that we can get is going to be way faster than doing that. So,
yeah, Yeroc has already demonstrated his hovering prowess, so might go for the hover on the retry at the Ice Palace bomb jump.
Mm-hmm. Entirely possible too. All right, but we didn't have. Honestly, when people die to Cold Stare, I'm always nervous they're going to die in Swamp because it's just so much harder. But we're through, which is good. And I'll be honest, the Flute 8 here, I don't know if we're intending to also do... Okay, farming a bomb there, which is not guaranteed, but we did get it, which is great.
I don't know if I've ever seen 3 bits of grass consecutively drop green rubies before.
Yes, Icebreaker and Diver Down are considered major glitches for the speedruns of this game. I have seen that guard before. That guard is rude. Oh, Rei still gets the lineup even with getting the awkward hook down. That's very nicely done. That is actually pixel perfect. We use the setup there to get it every time. So getting it just by going for it is pretty neat.
Yeah, I don't know if he has like a visual cue to know he was on the right spot or just like went for it and hoped, but it certainly worked out. Right, looks like Yeroc is going to do Maya here before the visit to Ice Palace.
Yeah, and could be opting. The slugs are in the bomb prize pack, and because Yeroc also killed the Zora, the first slug should drop 4 bombs. So entirely possible that planning on just farming the first slug, the one that's basically always in your way. Oh, Rei does a good job getting around that guy. Also seeing a 0 cycle attempt. This one, yeah, the order of puffs was a little bit off. It's a very tricky strat. There's a lot going on there. Yes, we're gonna get the 4 bombs. Nice.
All right, yeah, that's that problem solved. Rei just misses out on the fire quick kill as well, but yeah, still gets it in 2 cycles at least.
Now, instead of talking about Yeroc's bombs, we can talk about Rei's arrows. Rei is pretty short on arrows here. You'd love to be leaving this dungeon with 21 or more, so we're 6 short, which means even getting a backup pot leaves us a little bit short. If Rei is comfortable getting the 10 arrow chest in Ganon's Tower, then I guess I'll stop talking about it. But otherwise, yeah, we're gonna need to find some arrows. And while we won't really know who has the lead until Yeroc finishes Ice Palace, my guess is that Rei is actually winning right now.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. It's quite hard to tell. It almost has the feeling of like a late game randomizer race at this point, where both players are in go mode. Like, both players are in go mode, but have different things left to do.
Oh, let's see. It's about a 5.5 minute split. Rei's about... It's about 3.5 minutes from these different points right here, so... It's close, actually. That cold death's about 4 minutes, usually. Yeah, the only thing that leads to route differences like this is dying. Nothing else affects anything. Oh, that's maybe too low. Okay, good thing we got the 4 bombs. We didn't even talk about Spooky, but unfortunately, I've seen more Miss Spooky this week than I have in like the last year.
Well, that's pretty unfortunate. I can say that I got Spooky twice in my race yesterday, which is not ideal.
No, it sounds like it is, but that's actually one short of what we want.
Oh no, sorry. I mean, I got all of it twice.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, so here we're going to intentionally take some damage on this boss. And so the... Oh, that is... Yeah, that... It's a tricky fight. It's a very tricky fight. The movement we want to do in that fight makes it so that we only take 5 hearts of damage. But... Okay, Yeroc scared me. I thought he was going to get blasted in the face by that Wizrobe. The Wizrobes do 4 hearts of damage, so... Ooh, okay.
Oh no. It's there again.
No. Okay, you should go left when this happens. Once again, we're in uncharted territory. I don't think anybody finishes a run where they die to Cold Stare and then also die to Vitreous. And okay, yeah. Let the Wizrobe shoot, which means that heart despawned. Yes, going right is faster, but only if you beat the spark.
Alright, well, I'm interested to see what Yeroc's got for us here in the Vitreous refight, because 2 hearts is not a lot for any strat you want to be doing.
No. Okay. Ooh, okay.
Wow.
I don't remember how much damage those enemies do, but
I think it's enough.
I think it's 2 hearts. I think we narrowly escaped death there. Okay. 2 hearts. The really challenging part about this is you can't even really go for a spin. You can go for like one really big spin, but like it's hard because you can see you're getting charged by the eyeballs. They do okay. The lightning does 2 hearts of damage, which is lethal. The lightning can also stretch almost all the way to the wall, so it is very scary. I can't believe that eye on the left hasn't charged. Okay. And we can see on Rei's side what the fight is intended to look like. Oh, okay.
Rei also needed some slashes there to clean it up, but both of them have now killed Vitreous.
Okay. To end that fight, you need to fire 8 arrows into Vitreous. The arrows are hard to count sometimes. We've all been there. I
think I probably should talk about the Vitreous refight on Yeroc's side there, because he played it super aggressively, which I think, obviously he knew he sort of had to do to stay in the race, but there was a lot of danger there, but probably got about as fast a fight as you can hope for walking in with 2 hearts.
Yeah, I can't think how you would have done it faster. Unfortunately, Yeroc is an entire Ice Palace behind. So
yeah, he's up by an ice rod, so not quite an entire Ice Palace behind.
Okay, not quite. Yeah, and getting 2 Ice Palace, who knows how to do it? All right, float to 8. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, Yeroc plays enough randomizer that he knows how to get around the world.
Don't need the key, so you can just run right by. Navigating on ice, the movement, we didn't even talk about it. It's not easy. You move in very precise ways on ice.
Yeah, but getting to skip that key is just about the only thing you can do in an Ice Palace revisit. Like in other dungeons, at least if you die to the boss, you get to skip a lot of the stuff on the way back, but because of how much we sequence break Ice Palace, so we just have to do it basically all again.
Yep. I suppose technically we have the hook shot. I don't think that actually does anything, but I'm sure somebody could find a use for it somewhere. It won't save any time, but there's a use for it, I'm guessing.
I mean, it's probably not worth the menu, but you can hook an IPBJ to save some time if you had quick swap.
That's true. We don't need this key either, so you get to save basically no time. But yeah. Okay, I got nervous about that dead rock on Ray's side. When you get hit right as you're done picking up the boulder, it really sucks. First try bomb jump for the second time. You'd love to see it. And with everything that's happened, I think Ray still has the fairy set up. Which is good, because we don't need any more nonsense happening.
Yeah, we've had enough nonsense for the whole league here, I think, today.
Turtle Rock, another very good dungeon to have Sankard in, which is maybe a little bit surprising because you think, wow, you have 13 hearts. Except everything in this dungeon does 4 hearts of damage. I guess technically these rollers only do 3, so it's not everything, but we're intentionally getting hit right there. So, we missed it? Okay. I was gonna say, Yeroc missed the spin on one of the puffs, or sorry, the poke dash on one of the puffs, which was exactly what happened the first time. But got the really good spin there to finish it, so yes, we do have the fairy, which means chomps have to hit us only 4 times. Nobody's ever been hit 4 times by chomps. Alright, got hit 0. You'd love to see it.
Yeah, nice room there. Having beams lets you do the fastest strat as well.
That strat is fast. It's like really fast. It's almost too fast. If you get like bad chomps patterns, your iframes run out and then they can hit you. It's obnoxious. But it does save a good bit of time, so it's worth doing. Yes, it's hard to know what's going on in the runners' heads, but aside from the early disasters... Oh, went for a... That did... Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Please. Okay. Ray has been mostly fine for most of Dark World. There's been a few things here and there, but... And honestly, Yeroc has been good for most of this run. It's just like one easy to make mistake in Ice Palace resulted in a lot. You can maybe squeeze past this. Maybe.
Yeah, I think if you dash right here, you might be able to get past it.
I would farm the fairy for sure, though. Missing 6.
Yeah, seems good.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. Okay, Yeroc did try to Quake Dash there, which is dashing and using Quake on the same frame. It is faster. So, is it worth doing? It's up to you to decide. But because it's 2 buttons on the same frame, it is something that's relatively easy to mess up. And the Trinex fight. We didn't even really talk about Turtle Rock much because... Okay, but... Ray's Turtle Rock has been good. It's been totally fine. Trinex fight, you gotta kill the 2 heads before the main head will be attackable. Usually pretty easy fight. Ooh, was standing a little bit high, but knows their cues more than I know their cues, so gets the double spin, gets the slash. Good stuff. That is a pretty mean chomps pattern.
Yeah, those Yeroc's had some RNG this split, that's for sure. Just the 1 hit at least, which is some comfort, I suppose.
After blocking everything you could have possibly done for 2 whole chomp cycles, yeah, only the 1 hit, I suppose. But yes, Ray is actually short 1 arrow here, which means a couple of things. Just depends on how they want to do it. Oh, I think that actually might have worked for Key Dash for Yeroc. Maybe it was a touch high, but I think that might have worked. But yeah, Ray's into GT. GT, definitely a split where you can lose a lot of time. Not a split where you're likely to die. I think everybody has died to Aga 2 or Moldorm 2 or something, though. But relatively low probability. Okay. Ray recognizing the boomerang did not work the way they wanted to. It's good. We have another boom in this screen, which something also I think I've seen. It's a good thing we did. Okay. If you don't have the magic, you would have to hover this entire room, which
yeah, I guess it's an option.
or just redo the whole dungeon up to that point. Those are your 2 options. So
Yeah, I guess you can backtrack to Pokies 2 and get the magic part.
Everything is so bad. Okay, there's an extra bomb. There's an extra bomb right there. There is also an extra bomb in this room, and it does let us get the arrow chest. Yeah, the no magic doesn't matter. We get a full refill just before Trinex. It does mean you have one less rod shot for Trinex, but we only need 4. Looks like we only need 3. We need 4. And we did waste one there. So we have a couple of spares. Okay, well...
Okay. Let's not
dead.
die to another boss, please. Okay.
So yes, Yeroc was going for a strat there where it would save a rod shot, messed it up slightly, which cost a lot of time.
No fear from the boss face there from Yeroc, just staring Trinex in the face as he comes towards him.
Rei going for... I don't even know when that strat got found out, but...
Yeah, it's only like a few months, I think.
That's a tricky room. There's like 19 different strats, and they're all basically just as fast as each other. And they're all just as impossible as each other. Oh, that's just a little too low, gets hit there. That sucks. These gauntlet rooms are challenging to do fast. But that was an excellent G3. Miss. It actually sets it up so that you always can kill the first red Zazek. Okay.
Yeah, this red Zazek was not so not so
kind.
We're getting the one cycle ammo too there with the fire rod.
Okay. There's only really one more thing we're nervous about in GT here. It's extremely rare, but I don't even want to talk about it.
Oh yeah, that thing. I guess there's also Moldon 2 quadrant glitch, right?
Okay.
In terms of other disasters that could occur.
Okay. Oh my god.
Wow. Well...
If you like GT, you get to see it again. We are short arrows here.
Yep. I don't know where we are in the arrow prize pack these days. Look, I mentioned
we got 5. Okay, we have enough.
I mentioned the Moldon 2 quadrant glitch specifically to deflect from us talking about the thing that happened, and it still didn't work.
Alright, we get a second shot at this strat, and we get to see it.
Nice. I should probably actually explain exactly what happened there, which is, so if you go up those stairs on the same frame that the door from the previous Torches room reopens, it just despawns a bunch of the objects in Gigantus Tower, and the dungeon becomes unbeatable.
We don't have any bombs. This is, not good. Normally, it'd be totally fine, but with that spare bomb, we could have gotten 2 fairies and gotten back to full health. Yeah.
This is a concern.
Okay. Yeroc is into Mimics here. That's a very nice Mimics 1. And Rei's doing a good job managing his health, given the situation. Yeroc also going for that strat, which I have only seen as of this week.
Yeah, I think Eddie found it a few months ago. I know Eri does it regularly now. A few other people do.
Okay, that bonk is really dangerous. Ray, please just wait for the jingle.
Okay. There it is.
No! Oh my goodness.
I was paying attention to Ray there. I don't know where all of Yeroc's health went.
It looked mostly like Gauntlet 3. A little bit like Gauntlet 1. I said normally we don't die in this split. Normally stuff doesn't happen that's like this. That doesn't mean it doesn't. Sometimes what the enemies are doing is extremely rude. And it's just like, good luck. We're short arrows, so it looks like we're going to be clipping the mimics. Which is very hard.
Some real rando strats here. I'm sure Yeroc has climbed GT without a bow before.
Now, the thing about this is that there is actually an arrow in the next room. It's just that it gets despawned all the time. So you have to kind of like be really careful about how you pick it up. Okay, we clipped them. And we just have to wait. Okay. You can see the mimic there on the bottom of the screen. Okay, so we can clip this mimic too, but there is arrows, yes. It's just that they have a tendency to be despawned, so...
Aga 2 not cooperating on Ray's side. Okay.
Okay, we're out of the fight. Okay. Okay, 4 heart gauntlet will go better than the, I think it was 11 heart gauntlet last time. Already up to 5, huge. Okay, and Ray is into the Ganon fight here. We're hoping this takes less than 2 minutes. It's going to be 12 hits to get out of this first phase, which we're going to do three swings, a double spin, that gets us a 7, another spin, and the last few slashes here. Now we're into phase 2. We need another 12 hits, which are going to be all slashes, it looks like. Okay, I'm not sure how that affects the arc variable.
I think it might still be fine. Yeah,
I don't think it does. And this will be a double spin to get the hits. And this time, yeah, we're going to be inside again. And personally, I find being inside the ring easier. It is not fine.
Okay.
But we're okay. We're through the hard part of the fight. Just have to hit Ganon a few more times to initiate phase 4. And then we will be lighting this torch before the right one goes out.
Okay, you gotta be a bit careful with the magic.
I'm just gonna stop talking.
Okay, just slow and steady Ganon fight from here. Use the lamp, get some doubles. I'm beginning to have doubts if it's possible for these players to finish this video game. So I'd like to I'd like to see one of them cross the finish line here.
Yeroc opts to hover Moldorb 2.
Okay, Ganon has been defeated.
You love to see it, honestly.
Alright. Not even going to mention that there's a bridge that still has to be crossed.
We've crossed the bridge.
Alright.
Alright.
The game has been beaten. 134-26. Rei07 is our winner today.
And I do really just want to mention, pushing through this game when things have started to go off the rails is impossible. So very good job by Ray there to just, stick with it and try to finish.
Yeah, for sure. Both of our players showing good persistence here, and they're willing to carry on in rough circumstances. Obviously, Ray finishing fully 8 minutes behind PB here, but a gamer to the end.
And yes, Yeroc on to phase 3 here, just 2 more slashes to make it to phase 4. And this time, we'll light the torch before the right one goes out. Remember that we have bombs? Okay, huge. I said something and wasn't immediately proven wrong. Okay.
Yeah, excellent. There is an actual example of the torch glitch there. Lighting the first torch there before the second one goes out means the second torch stays lit for the entire fight, making it much easier.
Just a little bit early on those cape spin attempts. And there's the last spin. Nicely done, nicely done.
Yeah, the Yeroc is going to be dashing across this bridge, maybe? Yeah. And finishing in 1:36.54. GG's, Yeroc. It looks like our 2 runners are joining us in voice here. GG.
Yeah, GG's.
Yo, GG's, guys.
So lots to talk about.
Or nothing. So. Or nothing. Whatever you guys want.
Yeah, if you'd prefer.
No, that... Honestly, I've never done anything like this before, so I was incredibly nervous, even from the very start of the race. And I just, I think I listened to you guys for, half of Escape, and then I was just I'm turning this off. I'm just gonna look over from time to time and see how things are going, but I just need to, focus and play my game. And then I saw Ray take a death, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, that's awful. But there's a lot of game left to play, so I'm just gonna still just focus and do my thing. And sure enough, Cold Stare gonna do what Cold Stare does. And then the fun really started.
Yeah, that's true. Your run was actually like fairly smooth up until Cold Stare, right?
Other than blue balls, yeah, I think it was probably within like 15 seconds of PB pace.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I know Ray was immediately not on PB pace, but honestly, good job pushing through. That's really hard to do.
Well, I just started playing again. I had a little break for like 2 or 3 months, and I started play this week for practicing for this tournament, and I don't know. I was like, every run went like this. Even rooms where I normally have no problems failed. Other rooms where I have had before problems were really good. I don't know what happens at the moment. But yeah, I was not nervous at all because I played a lot of tourneys till now, and then I took that death, and I was like, okay, that's shit, but whatever. Cold Stare death can get that or can make that even or equal. So whatever, I just go, and yeah, it's a little bit harsh what happened here. Also, my first time I ever since like 2 years of playing, I managed to get the quadrant glitch at the
Oh, you
power one.
despawned GT? Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. That's the first time for me. Never do that before.
I was wondering, like, part of the competitive part of me was definitely like watching the watching your progression through the gauntlet, going like, well, he could jingle glitch, and maybe I'm still in this, but like I'm not gonna think about it. And then I like stopped paying attention to the stream, and all of a sudden you were like 2 rooms ahead of me, and I'm like, okay, just go. And then I died in gauntlet. I'm like, all right, well, never mind. I don't know. Like as far as the Cold Stare and the Vidi deaths go on my part, I really didn't have a chance to like I went for double poke, and I thought it was good, and I think I just swung early, and like the puff just like ran into me all of a sudden, and then I didn't even have a chance to like think about how to correct for it. I was just like dead. Same thing with Vidi. Like I got the eyeball, like I got that bottom right eyeball, and I was like, oh good, I'm free and clear to just run up here and get the last spin, and then the same eyeball just immediately hit me, and I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, I think I would have to rewatch the Cold Stare fight, but I think you actually missed one of the poke dashes because
I missed the second one both times.
Yeah,
but I was ready for it the second fight.
Yeah, and then in the Vidi fight, when that happens, it usually means that your movement is not tight enough. Like you're coming too far out, and you're spending too long not in iframes.
Yeah, it was weird because like I was surprised that it was the same eyeball movement, right? Like it got back and then it immediately moved again, and I didn't think that feels like really uncommon. Like I swung wide because it was in a weird spot, and so like I thought because it had just moved, I was probably okay, and then RNG just gonna do what it's gonna do.
Yeah, definitely tricky situation. I swear that both of you saw things today that in my 4-ish years I've only seen once or twice, maybe. Like, so honestly,
it was a fun race. Like it was a new experience for sure, and you know, like I'm not like new to competitive stuff in general. Like there's been plenty of time. I've played plenty of like fighting games and things and gone to tournaments for that, and I'm no stranger to this feeling, but like sitting at home just playing a game and just being like, all right, come on, you can just settle in, you can do this. Like it was kind of neat. It was new experience, and I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And honestly, the best part about the league setup is that you both get to play next week. So, any opinions on who you're going to beat, or I guess play next week?
Oh gosh. I mean, I have no idea who it could be, but
Welcome to the 01 bracket. Could be us next week.
yeah. No, it could be you and me.
Well, I don't know either. So, but well, it can happen. Everything. So whatever. I don't know. I just take what come.
Yeah, I definitely joined up with this with the league, just knowing that like it would be fun. Like I was excited about seeing it in general, but then when I found out that I had the opportunity to actually participate in it, like I was already like, all right, well, anything that can happen in a tournament race will happen in a tournament race, and so like this is a good opportunity to go and experience that firsthand. And we definitely did that today. So.
Well, I certainly hope both of you have none of this happen in any of your races going forward.
We'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully you just got all the disasters out of the way in the first one. You can just, PB every time from here on in.
That would be nice. I don't know if it works that way, but like that'd be cool.
All right.
I think it's still crazy.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry.
No, go on. Go on.
I think it's crazy that after all of that, we still were only separated by like a Ganon fight. That was wild.
I mean, it should just let everybody know that really anything can happen in these races, and it's still going to be a race. Like, so.
All right.
And I think it shows also that maybe it's not that bad to go through a run, even if it's dead. I think that's not that bad, even if you play alone. I don't like to reset a lot. I think it's a good way to show just do it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Maybe you see new things.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I think we're going to go ahead and get wrapped up. So thanks for watching, everybody. We're going to let Ricky take over here.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah, we are going to wrap up. In just a few moments, we're going to be starting up the Dante versus Parisian player match right here on this channel. So, I want to thank our runners. Thank you to Yeroc and Rei07 for the awesome race. Thank you to Deo and Rob J. Beasley for the awesome commentary. Over on ZSR2, just a heads up, we have a Majora's Mask Randomizer Standard Tournament Season 3 Qualifier number 5 that's starting up in a few moments. And as I said just a moment ago, Dante versus Parisian player is starting up right here on this channel in about 12 minutes. So don't go anywhere. Thank you everyone so much for watching. Hope you had a wonderful time and have a fantastic rest of your night. Bye!